Remarkable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And Spark are champions! Good up, Pepe!
Goal! It doesn't get any better than that!
We have another really intriguing matchup to bring you here in the APSL Delaware River Conference. First place Westchester on the road, taking on a Philly Soccer Club squad just 6 points from a playoff spot. 3 points tonight would go a long way for their postseason hopes, but the Predators stand in their way. Our featured game of Match Week 15, just a few minutes out.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division I programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back to Northeast Philadelphia and Charles Martin Memorial Stadium. We are just a few minutes from a really intriguing matchup. Westchester visiting Philadelphia Soccer Club. But before we get started, just wanted to give a quick reminder that this Game and Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletics. Salt has made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The Air Case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game and Frame community an exclusive discount. So scan that QR code to get 10% off. And remember, keep it fresh. Well, if you joined us for the most recent Westchester broadcast, you probably saw that the Predators, who are atop the table, took it to second place Alloy in an 8-1 throttling on a Friday night. Now, granted, it was at their home stadium, but a statement win for a debut squad in the APSL. Westchester's in black going from left to right, Philadelphia in white going from right to left, as the assistant officials just conducting their final checks. Match week 15 moments away from getting underway. Quick check of the watch from the main official, and we are underway from Northeast Philadelphia. Philadelphia have possession first, and as I say, the 3 points are going to be really important for both squads. You could maybe argue slightly more so for Philadelphia, who find themselves on the outside looking into the playoff race. Westchester firmly atop the table, but they have to keep it as that ball comes flying towards the near post, and you can see already that potent attack from Westchester. Goal difference of, and this isn't a misprint, folks, if you saw the table, through 14 matches, goal difference of 56. 56 through 14 matches. They have 71 goals in 14 games. And remember, it's their first season. They had no idea of what the standard was going to be. This is their first year, and they are taking this Delaware River Conference by storm. And Philadelphia were last year's regular season title winners, so you don't have slouches, as Westchester had a shout for a penalty there, but I think just good defending from the big center back for Philadelphia, as this is kind of Philly's first real attack of this game. Can they make it count? That's Jawara running down the left-hand side. Normally Rashid Thomas's territory, who's a potent goal scorer for them, not in the lineup today. So that's Jawara taking up the mantle on the left side, as Skenjalewski's come up from his left back spot to take this throw in. Goes to the skipper, Jay Richmond, who just wins that ball back with pure strength, beats one, and unfortunately that ball just went out of bounds. But an early attack for PSC, a good sign. Alloy didn't have much in the way of attacking fortitude in that last matchup with Westchester. So again, I think being away from home had a lot to do with that. The reverse fixture was our first broadcast earlier this year, back in the fall, and it was a 1-0 win for Westchester. So clearly not the golf in class that we saw on Friday. As look at this ball all the way across the field. A couple of looks for offsides. I don't see any. As Ridge Robinson goes down in the box, and he is incensed, screaming at the ref. Looks like he got tangled up with Ben Richter back there, who has already had it coming together, and you're going to have to watch, because Ridge Robinson is the threat for this Westchester team. 17 goals and 5 assists, and I'd say through 14 games, but he's been out injured. So I'm not clear on how many matches he's played exactly, but it wasn't all 14. He did not feature in that Alloy game. So that's definitely a matchup to watch between him and Richter. It's already gotten a little spicy as Jawara threads through Ojeboy, who's kind of taken a little across this right-hand side of the box. He cuts in. I think tried to thread a little through ball. It didn't quite pan out. And it's popped out here to Lucchini, who, by the way, had a hat trick against Alloy in that last Westchester game. He was filling in for Ridge Robinson at the top of the park. As here's Ridge slotted in behind now. The offside flag is up, though. And I think there were a couple shots for offsides in that first through ball to Lucchini. None came, but the return ball to Ridge was offsides. You can see the Philly players maybe playing with a bit more urgency than a typical game as Ojibwe muscles through a defender, but was overwhelmed. Skenjalewski does some good work with his defensive duties. Jay Richmond on the ball again into Jawara. A little layoff, did not pan out. Well defended by the Predators. Ayub Mahu back to Mahu. And now, Ridge got a touch and actually carried it onto the foot of an on-rushing Predator, but that Predator was offsides, as that would have been quite a touch from Robinson to nod that one on to John Ricks, I believe that was, as another tangle in the box and a third challenge in the box. Just living on the edge is Philadelphia so far in this one. All clean according to the refs so far. So I think 3 penalty shouts already in 5 minutes. And that is probably why Westchester has taken this league by storm, because their attacks are relentless. And as you may or may not see in this game, they're not put off by being scored on. They'll just keep coming. They have allowed 15 goals, which is also a league best. But you're almost guaranteed a goal a game against these guys if the numbers are correct. But it just rarely matters, as that Alloy game showed. I think they were up 3 or 4-1 by the time Alloy's goal came. A little bobbing and weaving in the middle of the park by Dylan Lacey didn't quite get the job done. Also worth noting, a lot of wind in Northeast Philadelphia today, and Philadelphia is going into the wind for the most part. It's kind of swirling around in here as Richmond shoved Kenneth Roby to the ground, and referee spotted that foul. But as I was saying, wind's swirling around here, but for the most part, Westchester is downwind, excuse me, and Philadelphia is into that wind, and it's no zephyr, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably 10 to 15 miles an hour. As looks like Lacey will be the one to whip this ball in. About 35 yards out. Outswinging crossed, a really nice ball, well defended by Philly. As a nice ball played across the field back to Lacey. Just see this Westchester team just switching that field back and forth. A little too easily, I'm sure, for the coaching staff's liking of Philly. Little ball trying to get slotted in behind. Actually, Jeboy's kept that in. So you can see all hands on deck defending, because he's the target forward for this Philly team, and he's taking up the position of almost a right back. He's walking back towards his more natural starting point now, but you can see he's just trying not to concede early here, as Westchester have done so much. His score very, very early on, as we'll have a goal kick coming up. Lots of action, as always, to tell you about here on Game in Frame. At 8 o'clock, we have Richmond County taking on Doxa SC. That's at 8 o'clock in the APSL Metropolitan Conference. And then, same time, at 8 o'clock, we have Freedoms taking on Kids Super Samba AC. That's also in the APSL Met. So, lots of action, as always, here on Game in Frame. your home for grassroots soccer here in the Northeast. Daniel St. Paul about to boot this one away for Philadelphia. Again, that's in to win, so that's a pretty hefty clearance from the big guy between the sticks for PSC. Just a throw-in, though no one could get on the end of it. And you see the downwind playing for Westchester as that throw-in went about 60 yards. Ball played over the top, and it will hold up coming this way. Jawara trying to track this down. Full press for Philly. And can Westchester play their way out of it? Ball bounced up, maybe hit a hand. Referee wasn't interested. As Weaver being pestered from behind and illegally done, according to the official. Skenjalewski lacking options down this left-hand side. There's Richmond. Try to kind of clip that one to no one in particular, unfortunately. Hefted clear. Richter gets rid of that one, as that one lead to a contested ball in the middle of the park. Thomas, or excuse me, that was Richmond. And screams for handball from Philly, but again, referee not interested. Looks like he wants to let them play for the most part here today, which is good. Cards kind of come thick and fast in the modern game, so I'm always happy to see a ref kind of let the game play. That's why it's called the beautiful game, folks, not because we want to hear a whistle every minute or two. That ball cut out by PSC in their third. Richmond trying to get on the edge of it. Oh, he's had a hit, blocked well. From the sound of it purely, it sounded like he hit it well, but we won't know because it was so far away from reaching the goal mouth. But, you know, I think that through ball just now may have been offsides, which is why Mohu didn't give it much chase, as St. Paul now picks it up and puts it back down again. He'll play that across to Sean Murray. Jawara back in the mix now, as some good battle going down this right-hand side. There's Mohu. Nice turn there from the Predators man. Cuts inside, has a hit blocked well by Weaver. Pinged across the field, as Westchester does so often and so well. Robinson on top of the box. What a through ball played in behind. St. Paul does really, really well to come out and play that ball. And the offside flag stayed down, so Ridge was onside, according to the AR. What a return ball from... Sorry about that, folks. Just trying to hear what the referee's saying. I think they're trying to clear off some folks from the edge of the pitch. So that's the reason for the delay there. But Robinson was very nearly in for the first goal scoring opportunity. And again, I don't think the players are used to the lack of a whistle. So now we have a dangerous set-piece opportunity for Westchester. Maybe a little bit too tight of an angle for a shot here. But it's not far out. It's one of those ones that you kind of whip in towards that back post. And it gets a little dicey for St. Paul in goal as to whether to come out or try and hold your ground and save the possible shot. Mohu whips it in. Gets blocked by that first defender. Skenjalewski hoofs it clear. As Solano went down there, and luckily for him, or excuse me, that was Yosu for Philly. got the call from the ref. And Richmond applauds that effort for the counter. That was started by Richter, the center back, who saw the opening, did hit his pass, but the return from Ojeboy wasn't quite as good. And look out, here comes Lucchini. I spoke too soon. Offsides, the call for the man who was the hat trick hero against Alloy. Also worth noting, Dylan Lacey for Westchester had 2 goals in that last match. And also a goal of the month candidate last week, 2 weeks ago, from Luke Hill, who hit a screamer in the top right-hand corner. One of the purest strikes we've had in the Delaware River Conference. Has a little bit of a miscommunication with Jawara on that far side, as Jesse Wyke was coming across. Yosu looking for Jawara. Again, it's the a little intricate passing a bit lacking from Philly so far. That might be due to that Westchester press, because Westchester kind of picks a point. And after the ball crosses that point, it's relentless. And it makes teams really uncomfortable, as you saw with Alloy. Just a crushing feeling when you're on the ball in the middle of the park. Kind of like that, except flipped around, because that was Mike Rascioli who came and put a strong tackle in. Ball pinged over the top. But again, that wind on display right there. Whenever you lift that ball going this way, it's just going to get away from you. As unfortunately, St. Paul is going to have to go on a walkabout to go find this ball, because one of the quirks of Charles Martin Memorial Stadium is a runway down past that right corner, which seems to go on forever. Paul is back in position and ready to send this one away. Wind is picking up. As you can see, that ball just dying around the 40-yard line. Jawara sprung through. Here comes Mohu doing his defensive work, a little step over, which seemed to work. Jawara goes down. Referee says no call. There's a lovely little 1-2 with Mohu. Forced inside to Lacey. Passes a bit behind, but nothing criminal. And a nice little return ball played to McDade. And he's let that one run for a corner kick for Westchester. And McDade will leave that one to Lacey to whip in. The corners when you're downwind here can be very concerning for the goalkeeper, because that ball wants to just work its way back. 2 arms up. We'll see what the call is. It's a near post ball. Thumped clear by Richter. Now PSC can kind of clear their lines a bit. Weaver. Again, just that little tiki-taka passing in the middle of the field, letting Philadelphia down so far. What a turn by Lacey. He gets it back, has a hit. It's deflected kindly for St. Paul. Kind of took all the sting out of it, but a good move. Lacey with a really nice pass and turn to spring himself clear. Good block, though, by Philadelphia. Going to try the Route 1 approach to Ojeboy, who is more than willing to go run after it, as Westchester man went down under the pressure. I think the referee might just have a little talking to. Jeb boy he is. Doesn't look too stern, but some words nonetheless. I think that's his first foul, so maybe not a warning per se, but definitely a reminder to watch the fouls, particularly over near the edge of the pitch where that track comes into play. Not the kindest surface to land on, I can assure you. So all's good now. Ball played over the top, looking for Lucchini, but St. Paul comes off his line well. And there's another tangle of the legs. That's the third one, and the referee's given this one. Trying to hear the Philadelphia bench not happy with that call. And Richter is actually having a word with the ref, and he's the one that was involved with Robinson in the box earlier. Ref did not call that one. So that's something to keep an eye on. And 3 men in the wall for Philadelphia. Ball's a little less than 30 yards out. Whipped in towards that post, and St. Paul comes out really well to claim that. Got that ball at its highest point. Look at the wind just kill that ball. It just drops straight down on the 40-yard line. What a ball played across, though. Wyke tried to find Yusu, just missed. Philadelphia will get a throw in. About 20 minutes into this half, 25 left to play, roughly. And Weaver trying to get that one under control. And I think it's a handball. And referee, the referee's going to have a talking to with the Philadelphia coaching staff. I think he's pointing down to that back corner. So I think what happened there was a ball was pilfered by some young watchers of this match. So as the Westchester coach had a little dig there, I'll, for the sake of the ref's integrity, I will leave it out of the commentary. But the ball has been returned. So we're back underway. You never know what you're going to get in grassroots soccer. And sometimes a ball gets pilfered. But we got it back now. We're good. McDade about to throw this one in for Westchester. Not sure. I'll have to check the rule book. Not sure if a kid taking a ball is due for stoppage time or not. But I guess we'll find out at the end of this half. That was about 2 minutes for those of you keeping track at home. St. Paul plays his way out of trouble here, but Lucchini with that press I discussed earlier. And you can see it usually ends up with the Predators getting the ball back. And Richmond fighting for that one. Jeboy is kind of left it. He's trying to go down this right-hand side, and it might work, you know. Sean Murray just lost out towards the sideline there. Predator's throw. We'll go all the way back to Luca Malort. We'll come out here to John Ricks. Back to Malort. Tried to wrap that one around, but it was stopped by Yusu. Richmond. There's a nice ball played in behind for Jawara, but cut out by Westchester. Mohu. Weaver puts his foot through that one, and you can see the wind just kill it again. Remember, in 20 minutes, we'll have our halftime, and the sides will flip. So it will be Westchester defending with that wind as an enemy rather than a friend, and Robinson has gone down. Penalty awarded. Probably the third or fourth penalty claim for Westchester, and that one did it. Richter claiming just another tangle of the legs, but I've rarely seen a ref take back a penalty call. So, Robinson, the leading scorer, 17 goals to his credit so far. Will it be 18? It will not. He has put that one over. And for those of you betting your house on him scoring that, I'm with you, and we've all lost our houses. Because you would have been convinced that one would ripple the back of the net. But it's gone flying over the bar, and a lifeline for Philadelphia. But now Westchester have a bit of an urgency to the attack. Strong challenge by Ricks, and a bad challenge there. That one is not good. That's a bad tackle. I'm sure the intent wasn't there, but we are pretty far from where that was, and we could hear it up here. You just hope. I think that's Yusu that was on the wrong end of that challenge. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. Richter is saying that tackle was actually up his leg. It wasn't towards the foot. It was up near the shin. So you gotta watch. Because remember, if that challenge comes in over the ball, it's usually a no-nonsense red card. But yellow was the card shown. And fortunately, Yusu is up and moving. Albeit a bit gingerly, as you can understand. And apologies, I'm not quite sure who put that challenge in. I'll check on that at halftime. Might have been Ricks. But again, I'll check on that. I'm not exactly sure who the card was awarded to. As throw-in comes in, Robinson goes down, and you can see the referee under some scrutiny early on here. No different than any other match, I suppose, but maybe on these bigger games, the protests are a little more heated than normal, as Richmond trying to restore a calm back to this game. Back to Skenjalewski as that press, here it comes, and really smartly done by Weaver to just put his body in the way of Lucchini, who had his eyes light up, and think the referee's actually making a smart move here, just trying to get this one under control a bit. Nice play from Jawara to skip by not one but two. And he's gone down, and the referee doesn't seem interested in that one. Mohu. Pocket picked really well. And see, I don't agree with that one. I don't think that was a foul, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not going to call that one on the right-hand side, I don't think you can call that one. And there's another tackle. I think he's waved play on there, so he did see that as a foul. Jawara in the box, tries to wrap his foot around it, but kind of fluffed his lines, and it's trickled towards that near post. Comfortable save for Riley Porter, who I think that's the first time I've called his name today, which is a good sign if you're a goalkeeper, actually, not to say they don't deserve all the praise. But if I'm not calling their name, it's usually because they're not under much pressure, which was certainly the case so far for Mr. Porter and Westchester. That ball played over the top, but just, again, the wind deciding to bring that one all the way back for Mr. St. Paul. Over to Richter, trying to play their way out and turning that ball over in a dangerous spot. Can they work it? A man goes down in the box, but it goes back to Ridge and flips it. Somehow he's missed that ball. Open net, and it's hit the crossbar. So, just another gift for, and a yellow card shown for Richter. So, that's going to be something to keep an eye on, because he's been heavily involved in trying to control Mr. Robinson. And you can bet that's going to do nothing but egg Robinson on. He's already gotten one penalty called in this game, and again, I don't see the attacks stopping. I'll get back to that, because Robinson's turned in the box really nicely, and he's gone down, and a second penalty has been awarded. So a fan was certainly not happy with the ref's call there. And a change in penalty taker. This one's Dylan Lacey, stepping up in a brace last match. Will he get on the record here? A little bit of interesting twist to this tale, though, because the referee is going to have a talking to with the assistant coach for PSC. So Mr. Lacey has his hands on his hips, just stewing over this one. And he just saw his teammate Robinson put one over. St. Paul looks none too bothered. Let's see if Lacey can put it away. He sure can. A thundering strike into that left-hand corner. And we have a 1-goal lead for the team atop the table. The second penalty shout, the second penalty called for Westchester gets them on the scoreboard. With less than 15 minutes remaining in this first half, PSC now has, I won't say a mountain to climb, but certainly a hill to climb. Robinson picks the pocket of PSC. Rascioli does well to find Yusu, who did well to find Murray. He did well to get it over here to Skenjalewski. Couldn't thread that ball. And here's Ricks. As Weaver tried to clear that one, but it kind of skimmed off his foot, and that ball's thumped into the sky, and it will be a corner. And I hate to break it to them, but I think that ball has gone over the fence, which means it's quite a walk to go get it. Hold on a second. It was not a goal kick. Offside's the call, maybe? I don't know. I think I'm going to put my foot in the ground and say it was offsides, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, game back underway, and PSC trying to find a leveler before the halftime whistle. But this is when Westchester puts the clamp down, because the other team needs to open up that defense. And that's usually when the goal fest begins. As Roby plays to Lucchini into Lacey, but it wasn't given back. Ball still under the spell of Westchester. Really well done by Ricks, who looked like he was going to have a hit and thought better of it. And Richmond goes down. Foul awarded. And Richmond, I think he's all right. Yeah, he's up. About 10 minutes remaining in the first 45. And I'm happy to report that ball was recovered. It may have been in the next county, but it was recovered. Ball flipped ahead. Looking for Philly. Yusu somehow got a leg to that. Not sure how. Ball's thumped against the Westchester player. Richter put his foot through that, but a foul was called against, I think, Yusu. Robinson over to Mohu. And I think that player's offsides. What a save by St. Paul. Unfortunately, it didn't really count for anything because he was offsides. But really good stop, despite, because he didn't know it at the time. He was just making the save. And St. Paul to send this one away. Nice clearance again. Maybe the wind had died down a touch. Mohu into Robinson. Turned around the corner brilliantly. Lucchini. What a stop by St. Paul. The hat trick hero from last week denied by St. Paul. Who, as we're getting some love from the sideline here, but what a stop from St. Paul. I don't know how Ridge Robinson turned that ball around the corner with two white shirts on either flank. But that's probably why, in addition to those 17 goals, he's got 5 assists this season. Westchester goes short. Mohu. Tug at the shirt. He's had a hit. What a strike from Mohu. Top left corner. And a definitive second goal for the Predators. Doubles their lead. Mohu, you saw him pick his head up, pick out his spot, and smoke it into the top left. Ball played over the top. PSC coming. He almost nicked that, you know. Jesse White was hot on the tail of the Westchester defender. And something else, I think that goal won over the PSC supporters down on the field to the left there, which Ojeboy wasn't too happy about. And here's that man again, Mohu. A little 1-2 played in the middle. Ridge Robinson, the intended target. Can that ball stay in? He slides to keep it in, and he's won a corner. Westchester just so good at the details of this game. Keeping that ball in and finding a way to get a corner out of a ball that, in all likelihood, looked like it was going over the end line. So, with a little over 5 minutes left of the 45, another set-piece routine. What a move from the Predators. Here's Mohu again trying the same thing. How can you blame him? That one didn't go quite as swimmingly as the first. Mohu's reminiscent of Arjen Robben, playing down that right-hand side, cutting in and using his left foot to burn a hole in that top left-hand corner. And St. Paul is one of the best goalkeepers in this division, but he did not move. And I'm not sure moving would have done anything because that ball was tucked into that top left. And Yosu goes down, so does the Westchester man. And I don't think there's a foul call. I think that's a throw-in. And referee is just under fire from both squads today. It's again, I think might be a symptom of the importance of this game. Westchester is 3 points clear at the top, so they don't want to drop points. And Philly is 6 points out of the playoffs, so they need the 3 points. Yosu trying to find Richmond, but it was cut out. I think that was Patrick Short. Stole that ball. Or excuse me, that was Elendawi who cut it out for Westchester. But Philly back on the ball, and Yosu tripped up again, who was just taking a beating in this game. He's the one that got that yellow card challenge. And Weaver trying to find Richmond, and Westchester man goes down again. And they are underway. I think he's just checking for a head injury. That's why he's called that one back. But I don't think it was a head injury. I guess better safe than sorry. Ticking into the 43rd minute of this match. 2-0 the score. Little turn, a crushing blow, but it was delivered to the, oh boy, as that clearance was all wrong by Rascioli, and it'll be another Westchester corner as Lucchini put the moves on display. And that howitzer of a strike never actually got to the intended target, blocked by PSC, and someone's going to have a ball mark to show after this game because that thing was traveling. And again, we do have stoppage time here in the Delaware River Conference, but we're not always told how much. So we'll try and keep an ear to the ground for it as this ball is really nicely whipped in. Robinson, I think, went over the back. That was well spotted by the assistant official. Unless he was calling offside. Oh, no, it was over the back, he said. So, yeah, well spotted by the AR because Robinson did kind of use Richter as a launch pad. Chawara goes across to Jake Weaver, who is decidedly lacking in options. So he goes route one. Doesn't work going into the wind. Weaver coming across now. He did get a foot to that. Uses his body well. Rascioli clips ahead to Yosu. And falls to Richter, who hoofs it. But again, this wind, you can't really just clear it like that, airborne at least, when you're into this much wind. Next half, that will work, but did not work here. And I think calls for handball go unanswered on Yosu. Ojeboy gets stopped temporarily, and that was important because I think Philly had the numbers. Richmond picks his head up, looks across the field to Jawara. Can he get it down? He can't. And Mohu now doing defensive work really well. Mohu scanning for options, goes the short way in towards Roby and just missed that pass. Yosu gets it back. Quick check of the shoulders and a ball forward to Wyke. Back to Rascioli. Tries to find Ojeboy, does really well. It's a great ball. And he plays across to Richmond, picks his head up on the corner of the box, cuts inside, and defended well by that Predators backline. 45th minute now complete. So we are in stoppage time again, not sure how much. And Mohu goes down, and there's no call. Mohu's still down as Ojeboy just trips up Luka Malor. Seems like the tension's brewing. A halftime whistle might do good for the mood inside Charles Martin Memorial Stadium. But you can bet PSC wants to nick a goal before that whistle comes. Ellen Dowie might steal one for Westchester. Ball whipped in. Richter heads clear, but not very far out. Robinson tries to clear it. Ellen Dowie did get a hit, but it was blocked. Well done by Jawara to come back and steal that one from Ricks. And it's hoofed clear, looking for Richmond. A little too far. Richmond applauds the ball, though. Second minute of stoppage time wrapping up. Referee did check the watch there, so he knows. And will he let PSC have this break? Richmond goes out the other way. The ball to Jawara wasn't good enough, and that is that for the first half from Northeast Philadelphia. Your score from Charles Martin Memorial Stadium: Westchester 2, Philadelphia 0. Don't go anywhere. Second half coming up in just a few minutes.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, But at Game and Frame, we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Bissell. And look at that recovery defense from Zabre, and look at that skill to beat Shaheen as well.
Still with Paxton. Paxton to toward Dagan. Dagan inside the 18-yard box. Dribbles away from 2, 3. Dagan! Goal for Brooklyn United!
Touch and hit. Low into that far post. What a strike from the Alloy man. Derek Ramirez gets Alloy on the board.
Charnas. Morales trying to get it in behind, and he is in behind. Atamengwe with a beautiful, delicate touch to open the scoring for Manhattan Celtic.
The hurdle comes through. Another tackle here from Bildy. Another tackle from him as well, and a double time special.
Munoz has moved out to the right. Rio, just enough of a touch back heel. Cook Jr. could be a shot. Hurtado Gomes, 1-0. His 9th goal of the season for Tomas de Andrade Gomes. Oh, now Campos. Campos is through. Diego Campos. It's around the keeper. And he scores for Galicia's first goal of the game. Diego Campos.
Rahi looking for the ball while he's in an offside position though. Pastrana gets past one with a cheeky little ball through the legs of the defender.
Harasabovic sends it long for Kurcic. He chests it down, has a shot over the head and into the net. What a goal! Incredible work to tie this game for Sanjak. It's level at 1.
Welcome back to Charles Martin Memorial Stadium. 2-0 the score at halftime here. And a reminder, today's Game and Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The Air Case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game and Frame community an exclusive discount. So scan that QR code to get 10% off. And remember to keep it fresh. Also learned at halftime that our typically regional broadcast is a national broadcast. I want to give a shout out to the Dominguez family, who I hear is watching from San Diego. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And I was told to give the message that Silky Joe is looking forward to getting on the pitch. And I also want to let you know that the manager, Aaron, asked me not to say that. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is a free country, and if someone asks me to call them Silky Joe, I'm going to. So, again, thank you to the Dominguez family watching from San Diego, and thank you all for watching, because without you guys watching, I'd be a lunatic talking to nobody.
Let's go, fellas, get out the way!
And as I say that, just some fans a little too close to the action for the comfort of the officiating crew. But now that that has been taken care of, we are about to get underway from Northeast Philadelphia. Again, 2-0 the score. Sides have switched, so Philly is in white going from left to right. Westchester in black going from right to left. Second half underway. 3 huge points up for grabs. The Predators in the driver's seat for now. But remember, they are now into that wind that we discussed frequently in the first half. And Philadelphia find themselves now with the wind at their back. Can they take advantage? Ball fizzed in on the throw-in. Philly have won it back. Ascioli looking for options and instead just pings it off of a Westchester player. Big clearance from Philly. The sun has actually peeked out. I haven't seen that thing for months here in Philadelphia, so nice to have a sunny day as Richmond working down that left-hand side, looking for options, and I think that Skenjalewski's whipped a nice cross in, well deflected by Malort. And you see that clearance just hanging up in the wind as Richter goes down and wins a free kick. And the script was flipped there. Ridge Robinson actually fouled Richter instead of the other way around as the offside flag popped up there. That was interesting. Must have been right when that ball was hit because Jeb Boy was kind of, he was not goal side of that defender. But underway we are anyway. As that one's stolen back by PSC and and the manager of Philadelphia not happy about a few of the calls, but that one in particular was not thrilled with. Here comes Westchester. Lucchini, the foot on the ball, just elects to go backwards. Out the other way comes Lacey. Alandawi, ball at his feet. Tried to fizz it in. Failed to do so. Here's Richmond. And ball was kept in by Westchester, smartly too, because they've beaten one man, Richter. Huge interception there, because that one would have been trouble. White kind of pulled out of that challenge. Richter hits Robinson. That's not who you want to give the ball to, and he's won that ball back. but illegally. So a huge, huge chance coming up for Westchester. That ball is just about where you'd put it if you asked a free kick taker where they'd want to take a free kick from. So it's about 25 yards out, enough room to get it up and over the wall, back under the bar. It's right in the middle. So it's really up to St. Paul to decide which way he wants to dive and which way he wants to put this, which direction he wants to put this wall in. Rare 5 men in this wall. And you see how centrally St. Paul has to stand. This is not fun for a goalkeeper. There's Mohu. Excuse me, what a hit that is, just over the bar. It wasn't Mohu, it was Lacey who took a swipe at that, and man, that was not far off. That actually went under the American football upright, just to give you an idea of how close that came. I mean, inches from that crossbar. St. Paul can breathe a sigh of relief. The deficit stays at 2. Westchester players down. Referee isn't interested. Play continues. Ejeboy has a hit with his left foot. It was blocked. Richmond with the ball. Tries to get that crossed in. It actually came off Richmond, I think. He got a call there, which you might argue they were due for one because a few of these decisions have gone against Philly. I think that one came off of Richmond's foot, but it will be his corner. And Richmond very smartly asking for a new ball because that one's about 50 yards behind the end line. Another fun feature of having a running track wrapped around the surface. That ball will roll forever. Richmond to take this free kick. Can they get themselves back into this game? Just past that far post with a lot of height. Too much height for everyone involved. And I think Jawara was fighting to get on there, and he did well as he's drawn the foul from Westchester. Richmond just, now, granted, he is on the exact opposite side of the field, but he is all by himself. And yeah, finally the Predators have, oh, no, they haven't. Okay, that's something to keep an eye on, folks, because you could argue that Richmond, there they go, they finally sorted it out. Richmond was all by himself for a very long time. Referee, I think he's just going to come walk this off, making sure he's 10 yards away, because I don't think he was. Sure wasn't. Okay, now we are good. No shaving cream here, folks. Might not come off the artificial surface. 2 hands up from the PSC man. And that's gone far post. It's fallen to Rascioli. He actually chested that down in the box, but couldn't find the touch for the shot. And here comes Westchester the other way. Look out. Lacey on the ball. Really well defended by Philly, but they've left Elendawi with room to run. Richmond coming across to defend. He's done well enough. I can't tell if that was Richter or Weaver that got ahead to that, but just stopped the break at the very least. McDade was the Mohu, pinged across the field. St. Paul looks like he wants that, and he nicks it right off the head of Elendawi. Good goalkeeping. He's not the tallest man in the world, St. Paul, but decisive in the box. Matters a lot more than height. And body's just hitting the floor for Westchester. But Roby's got it. What a through ball to Lucchini. Picks his head up, left foot, near post, strike. That's 3 for our table leaders. Only a matter of time before the hat trick hero from their last match, got on the board again for Westchester. Remember, he had that hat trick with their leading goal scorer Robinson out. And with both of them on the field, this team just looks so dangerous. And referee was, I think, having a talking to on that Philadelphia bench, but more trouble for PSC as Weaver is down. I think looking at a foot maybe, which is not good because Richter and Weaver have had all they can handle back there. And it looks like, unfortunately, Weaver is going to have to exit this match. And if there was any position other than goalkeeper that you wouldn't want to lose when you're playing Westchester, it's probably center back. I mean, I don't see a sub ready to come into the match. So I'm hoping for Philly's sake that maybe he might just need some treatment and he can get back in, but he just has the look of a guy that doesn't think he can continue. There is a substitute coming on. No, so that will be the end of the match for Weaver. So some fresh legs at the least for Philly at that back line. I'll await confirmation, but I'm pretty sure that's Diego Solano who's checked in at center back. Not his normal position, but he's definitely got the height and strength at the very least to be able to manage back there. So something to keep an eye on. Here comes Westchester once again. Also wanted to note that it was McDade that got that yellow card for Westchester in the first half. Told you I'd check on that. I did get confirmation. That was Brian McDade. So currently 2 bookings on either side. Can Richmond keep that one in? How did he do that? Oh, that's so unlucky. He did get a touch, but just couldn't keep it in. While we have a second, I'm going to tell you about some action coming up later tonight on Game in Frame. Up in New York, we've got 2 matches for you. Richmond County taking on Doxa SC at 8. Also at 8, Pancyprian Freedoms taking on Kids Super Samba. Also at 8, they're both in the APSL Metropolitan Conference. So the sister conference to the league you're watching right now, the Delaware River. Whoever manages to win the playoffs of this bracket could meet the winners of the APSL Met in the wider APSL playoffs. If you're unfamiliar, top 4 is king in the Delaware River Conference. Those are the teams that enter the playoff bracket. There is a regular season title, but it is a title kind of in name only because you still got to enter that playoff bracket to see who will move on in the APSL postseason. Robinson, top of the box, bobbing and weaving. And he tried to put a tackle in, and he's now called Robinson for that tackle. I think he was trying to let the play breathe, but not really. And a yellow issued there for Robinson. Interesting. I think the referee's saying he just kind of lunged a foot out with no intent to get the ball. So not the most dangerous looking challenge, but a yellow nonetheless. So as I say, now there's 3 bookings on the field right now. You've got Robinson, who just got that card. You have McDade also on Westchester, and then you have Richter for Philly. And Richter is going to be an interesting one to watch now because his logical substitute is Solano, who's already in this game. I don't know what the center back depth is like on that Philadelphia bench, but it's just something to keep in mind. You really don't want to be playing Westchester with two backup center backs as Roby is working his way towards that box. Little shimmy, cut back beautifully to Ridge. Robinson can't get the shot away though. Good defending by PSC and Sean Murray in particular to cut that ball out, because usually when Robinson gets a touch in the box, usually only ends in a goal. Richmond gives that ball away a little cheaply. Luckily, nothing comes of it for the PSC skipper. Rascioli has his head up looking for an option and didn't find one. Gives the ball away. Lucchini. Ball to Mohu. Crossed over the head of Lucchini. Ball fizzed in. Richmond with it. Can he spring the counter? Jawara. Skenjalewski nowhere to go. As I say, flips the script and able to clear his lines. Here come Westchester once again. What a move from the Westchester man into Elendawi. Left, and that was deflected crucially because it brought it back towards St. Paul. That was Patrick Short who had the shot from the top of the box. Really smart by Elendawi, because I was waiting for him to have a crack at that one, and it left Short in acres of space at the back. Ball played over the top, but again, you see that wind come into play. That's where it hurts the team who's downwind, because you can't get that ball to stop. Jeboy back. Yosu. Jawara. A little heavy for Richmond. Can he get there? Oh, he sure can. But again, it's so unfortunate. It's the second time where he's kept that first ball in and it just kind of trickles out. Long wide for Short. Went infield to Lucchini. Back out to Short, who's overloading this left side with Elendawi, who he's just found now. Flips out the other way to Mohu. A couple step overs. He's gone baseline this time. What a cross by Mohu, and it was just out of reach of Elendawi, who couldn't get enough on it. Really didn't need that much contact to find the back of the net, but he couldn't quite get on there. And PSC still only down 3. For those of you just looking at the scoreboard and thinking PSC is not playing that well, I can assure you, you are incorrect. Elendawi goes baseline. What a save by St. Paul again. How many times have I said that today? PSC trying to get out the other way. And physical play. Robinson trying to turn around the corner. He's done it. Shot was a bit weak. But as I was saying, if you're just looking and see a 3-0 game, you're probably thinking PSC hasn't played that well. I can assure you that's not the case. Because again, Westchester's coming off an 8-1 thrashing of Alloy, who's in second. Philadelphia, currently sitting in 5th, is giving them a much more competitive matchup to this point. About an hour in, than Alloy was giving them. So it's not the performance that's the problem. It's for Philly, it's Westchester's scoring threat, as Lucchini, a big part of that threat, is playing a little tiki-taka with Roby, who's danced past a couple of white shirts, had a hit, well defended by Rascioli, but it'll be another Westchester corner. And understandably, Westchester in no huge rush to make the hike to get that ball back in play. Ball is back in play. There's Roby. Back to short. Ball over the top of St. Paul, and it did find Elendawi. And I think he stole that from Mohu, who I think would have been able to get a lot more on that ball than Elendawi did. He was really stretching to get that one into the back of the net and just couldn't redirect it well enough. So good news for PSC, bad news for Westchester, but we have a substitute here to tell you about. That's Dylan Lacey coming off, as well as Ridge Robinson, who's on a yellow, so no shock for that one. And maybe a redo of last week with Lucchini taking that striker position on. Elendawi looks like he's shifted out to the left here. I think they've switched to a 4-4-2 if I'm not mistaken. So Gio Vaccaro has come on as what looks like a second striker in just a traditional two lines of four, one line of two. Here's Vaccaro now, finds Elendawi. Ascioli defends well, forces him backwards. Vogel back to Malor, to McDade. Excuse me, to Ricks. Forgive me. Mohu back on it with that left foot. That was so dangerous in the first half. And there's another brilliant cross. And can St. Paul get there? He has somehow. I don't know how. St. Paul has made so many saves. Now that one, maybe not the prettiest, but crucial nonetheless, because I think it might have come off his outside foot, back through his legs, and put it wide of the post. So, again, not pretty, but very effective from St. Paul. Ball's back in play already. Here comes Westchester. And a man goes down in the box, and you've got to be kidding me. A third penalty awarded for Westchester. And I think Solano, maybe just saying that was a little bit soft from the Westchester man, but I don't think Ken Roby is going to care because he has an opportunity to make it 4 for the league leaders. A peek at St. Paul. The run-up. The goal. Calm, cool, collected from Roby. 4-0, Westchester. Mass changes coming for Philadelphia. A 4-way substitution. Wyke exits the field. Sean Murray exits the field. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Pedro Barbosa has just checked in, which is a really great substitute to have if you're Philadelphia, because he is a dangerous player in this APSL Delaware. He's checked in on that right-hand side. Richmond looks like he's moved into a more central position. Jawara is able to keep that in, I think. And again, same problem as Richmond had. He's able to get there, but he can't keep it in. Mike Ford also checked into this game, as did George Katsiotis. One other substitute hiding out there that I will let you know about as soon as I can. Jeboy's top of the box. Nice turn. Good hit, but it's right at the goalkeeper, Porter. Mohu has a lot of room on this left-hand side trying to find Elendawi. But Ascioli does well to keep that attack right where it was, and it's hit the ref, who will have to blow the whistle And yeah, they can't get it back in play. It has to be a drop ball. Just the rules of the game that are being enforced. All right, we are now back underway as Vaccaro goes backwards. Lucchini, top of the box. Nice move to get around the corner. Vaccaro trying to get it wide. Couldn't quite. Fizzed in. Richter deflects it straight up. Then it's cleared. Here's Mohu again. Can he work it on that left foot? He wants to. And beats one man. Cleared for a corner by Solano, who smartly is going to go, I think, get... Oh, no, he's asked for another ball. Mohu strong challenge put in, another corner, and luckily the that spare hurdle has stopped the ball. 20 minutes left of the 90. Again, probably some stoppage time, as it looks like a goalkeeping substitution might be underway for Westchester. I think Alex DeMars is getting kitted up on that sideline. Strike from the top of the box. It was a good hit, and St. Paul just about was able to keep that out. That's some real pace coming on it from John Ricks, who was a good 30 yards out when he hit that. But St. Paul equal to it. Can that ball find Richmond? It can't. Barbosa coming to challenge. And there's our last substitution, Jonathan Lopez, who is on the ball right now. I found that final substitution of that four-way change from a few minutes ago. Goes infield to Barbosa. Couldn't quite get it out from under his feet. So here's Elendawi. Rascioli. Backwards to Richter. Katsiotis, who does have a goal in the campaign. Jeboy with a nice piece of hold-up play. Gets the ball to Rascioli in a little more space. And he's looking for Richmond. He's played a nice ball over the top. He's gotten it under control. A little clip over the top. What a goal from the Philadelphia skipper. A little life for PSC, courtesy of Jay Richmond. Make it 4-1. Westchester wants a foul. And Jeboy just not happy with the pace, so he's going to go take care of it. And it looks like there is a goalkeeping substitution. There is. So Alex DeMars is making his way in, and I don't think the referee knows there's a goalkeeping substitution happening. Okay, so 4-1 now. There's a little over 15 minutes left to play. Stranger things have happened, ladies and gentlemen. But you got to think, within the next 5 minutes, Philadelphia is going to need another one to have a realistic shot at getting something out of this game. And Jeboy, physical play. And he's taken down, and there's a big chance here. Again, a really good spot for a set-piece specialist, and DeMar's playing a little bit of keep away from the white shirts. He was brought onto the pitch purely for his keep away skills. Richmond is holding his head. I'm not sure why. Maybe a signal to his teammates. I'm not sure. Hopefully he didn't get a knock in there somewhere. He's the man on the ball, and I have trouble thinking it's going to be anyone else but him hitting this. But it's my duty to say Mohamed Jawara is also standing over that ball with him. 4 men in the wall for DeMars and Westchester. Ball is about 23 yards out. Richmond has a hit, and he's wrong-footed DeMars. Richmond has 2 in less than 3 minutes. 4-2, your score from Northeast Philadelphia. Well, as I mentioned, they wanted a goal in the next 5 minutes. They got it in 2 or 3. So, with still about 15 minutes left to play, the deficit is now just 2. Lucchini, head up, cuts it back. It falls to Westchester. Vaccaro goes down in the box. St. Paul comes out. He's done really well. A great double save from St. Paul. How good has he been today? Not 1 but 2 crucial stops as this comeback is mounting. That would have put a real damper on things for Philly. But now this game is wide open. Look at the black shirts coming the other way. Picks his head up, and there is the return shot. 3 goals in 3.5 minutes. I'm going to need an oxygen tank here soon, folks. It's now 5-2. This is how Westchester operates. So they get that lead, and as I said, they will concede goals. But typically, they're going to score more than they give up, and that's certainly what's happening right now. They've conceded 2 in a few minutes, but that game opens up on the other side, and they just go nick one right back. So Philadelphia back in the same spot as a few minutes ago. They need, as I say, a goal in probably the next 3-4 minutes here if they want to at least salvage 1 point from this match. And that ball, that took a spicy deflection, but DeMar is able to wrangle that. Not sure if it was a shot or a cross, but whatever it was goal bound. DeMars goes big. That's a nice service against the wind, but actually too far for Vaccaro. Barbosa does well to use the body. Not the biggest guy, but not easy to win the ball off of him. Ford clips that one. Look out. Oh, that hit the American football upright. And that one, DeMars looked like he was going to come challenge that, and the wind just took it. Fortunately for him, it took it about halfway up, or a quarter of the way up that American football upright. So big ball over the top. Well won by Solano, who again is filling in for Weaver. Really nice ball played around for Mohu. Blocked. But here they come again, and I think he went down a little easy there. Referee agrees. One back. Look out. Ooh, that wasn't too far away from nowhere. The other enemy, apart from Westchester for Philadelphia, is now the clock. A little over 10 minutes remaining in the 90. Rascioli going route 1 to Richmond. Couldn't quite get it in. Or, excuse me, get it down under his, into his feet. But we'll let Philly close the space a little bit. Philly wins a throw. Richmond couldn't get the ball down. Solano gives away a free kick. Patrick short on the ball. Ball zipped in to Lucchini. Crossed in for Elendawi, and he somehow put that wide. I don't quite know how. What's the deficit? Stays at 3. Looks like we'll have another substitution for Philadelphia. Jawara checking out of this match. And Barbosa and Richmond converging on that ball, but they were both beaten by Westchester. That ball was put out of play. Richter clears that one. Jeboy trying to hold that ball up. Well done by Short to take it off of him, but Philly have the ball once again. That press closing in. I think now they back off a bit. Jeboy across the field. I think that's Lopez on the ball. Low cross fizzed in, and it's come off a Westchester player, so DeMars was quick and smart to get on top of that ball. And clipped from behind is the Westchester man. Free kick. They go short. Vaccaro. Solano with not the best clearance, but handball called on the substitute, Mike Ford. Jeboy not thrilled with that ball. Solano. Comes the challenge far up the pitch, and it's opened up some room on that right-hand side. Mohu. Vaccaro. Ooh. Stops on a dime and almost a little half bicycle type thing, but it wasn't really a shot. I think it was just a touch. Barbosa does well to find Ford. Long ball looking for Richmond, cut out by Ricks, who slides in to make sure it reaches Mohu. Nice turn by Lopez. Lopez now on the ball. Loses out to Ricks. 1-2. And another 1-2. Is that a 1-2-3-4? Played along the right-hand side for Westchester. Rascioli heads clear. A little over 5 minutes left to play of the 90. Westchester keeping the ball really, really well in the lead too. And PSC man was taken down, but we're going to play on as Richmond's got it. And then he's tripped up and we'll have a free kick there and a yellow card coming out. That one's for Bogle, center back for Westchester. Less than 5 minutes now left to play with that yellow card, but still we'll have to be careful. Nice ball played over the top, but nobody home for Philadelphia. Maybe a little bit too straight from Richmond. As that setting sun streams onto the far side of the pitch, you might think that the hopes of getting back into this game are starting to set for Philadelphia. Still down 3. Only 3 minutes of the 90. Definitely stoppage time still to play. Barbosa keeps that one in. And, oh, what a ball played by Barbosa. He gets it back. Offsides the call by the AR. Barbosa rolled onto the track there, so good to see him pop up as quickly as he did. Ellen Dawi, look at him. Pace still left in the legs. He's had a lot of long runs today, and he's got another one as Richter comes in and puts a stop to that move. With authority, might I add. 3 minutes left in the 90. Another substitute. Theo Ojeboy comes off. And here, for my friends watching from California, is Silky Joe. Joseph Dominguez checking in. And another body hits the floor in that Philadelphia box. We won't see a fourth penalty called in this game, at least not yet. Ball kind of chipped over the top, and Richmond a little too eager to win that back. Vaccaro. Plays wide to Mohu. Richter steals that one, but then slams it against a Westchester player, and it falls back to the Predators. Over in the sunshine, Vaccaro plays back into the shade. Too short. Over to Bogle, who was freshly booked couple of minutes ago. Macaro with some fancy feet to get around one PSC man into Elendawi, who does turn his guy, but offsides the call. Barbosa on the ball now. Couldn't find his man on the far side of the field. Katsiotis giving pressure. We are now in the 45th minute. Into the box now come the Predators once again. A step over. Philadelphia able to not only win the ball, but keep it in the box. They now clear. That falls for a Philadelphia player. No, excuse me. One back by Westchester. All the way back to DeMars. Wide to Bogle. Here comes Mahu again. Challenge put in by Lopez. Does well to see off that cross. Another good piece of defending by Lopez. Good game from the substitute. We have passed our 90th minute. We are in stoppage time. Again, not sure how long we have left in this contest. That ball, one back again by Westchester. That press coming in. And I don't know if that was St. Paul that got there, but a white shirt, someone on PSC able to clear that ball. All the way back to midfield. Short. Over the top. Richter couldn't be too sure, despite St. Paul's authoritative call. As Elendawi has won that back. Barbosa stealing it back for Philly. Ford dancing around the pressure. One back for the final time by Westchester as they win this matchup in Northeast Philadelphia with a score of 5-2. Don't go anywhere. We'll have an interview coming up in just a few minutes.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division I programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Bissell. And look at that recovery defense from Zabre, and look at that skill to beat Shaheen as well.
Still with Paxton. Paxton toward Dagan. Dagan inside the 18-yard box. Dribbles away from 2, 3. Dagan! Goal for Brooklyn United!
Touch and hit. Low into that far post. What a strike from the Alloy man. Derek Ramirez gets Alloy on the board.
Charnas. Morales trying to get it in behind, and he is in behind. Atamengwe with a beautiful, delicate touch to open the scoring for Manhattan Celtic.
The hurdle comes through. Another tackle here from Bildy. Another tackle from him as well, and a double time special.
Munoz just moves out to the right. Rio, just enough of a touch back heel. Cook Jr. could be a shot. Hurtado Gomes, 1-0. His 9th goal of the season for Tomas de Andrade Gomes. Oh, now Campos. Campos is through. Diego Campos, it's around the keeper, and he scores for Galicia's first goal of the game. Diego Campos.
Rahi looking for the ball while he's in an offside position though. Pastrana gets past one with a cheeky little ball through the legs of the defender.
Harasabovic sends it long for Kurcic. He chests it down, has a shot over the head and into the net. What a goal! Incredible work to tie this game for Sanjak. It's level at 1.
Welcome back to Northeast Philadelphia. I'm here with Ayub Mahu from Westchester. And Ayub, all season, you guys have been a goal-scoring factory. Another 5 here today. What's the secret? What do you guys do so well that just leads to so many goal-scoring chances and then the final product as well?
I mean, it's a whole team group effort. We come out of training 2, 3 times a week, and we all just show up and put in the work. You know, shout out to all the coaching staff too. They come out with us. They're there 2, 3 times a week. You know, they show us the way. And like I said, it's just a team effort from everybody. You know, we want to come out every week, every weekend. They want to just show our effort, show our hard work that we put in during the whole week. And it shows. You know, it shows every week. We score 4 or 5. We're doing pretty well, so yeah.
Or 8, like or against 8. That one, right? So you might be too young for this, but that goal you scored reminded me a little bit of Arjen Robben. Down that right-hand side, cut in. Tell me, man. What were you thinking during that goal? Tell me what it looked like coming off the foot. All the whole experience.
I mean, me and Kenny on the corner, we always do that. You know, we're just mind games at that point. Me and him. We played together for quite a long time. We get along together pretty well. And yeah, every time the ball just comes to my left, it's just, I see that top 90 and just calling my name. And I took a shot and it went in. So yeah.
Boy, did it go in. Rattled the back of the net. So, you know, we're coming to the end of the regular season here pretty soon. A couple more games left to go, obviously. But as you know, once we hit that postseason, this all kind of resets. You go back into a playoff bracket. What are you guys going to take from these regular season dominating performances, hopefully into that postseason push?
I mean, the game experience, pretty much. I mean, we've all been playing together for quite a few months, and we're just gonna take that whole experience with us that we played during the whole season, and we're just gonna take it to playoffs. You know, whoever we play, we're gonna bring a game to them. That's it. We're gonna go and win it.
And they've done that pretty frequently. This is their 12th win in a row, I believe, for the Westchester Predators, and a defining win it was, 5-2 over Philadelphia on the road here in Northeast Philadelphia. For my man Ben on the camera, I'm Jake Gillespie. Thank you very much for watching another Game and Frame presentation.
Thank you for having me.